All right. How's everyone doing? This is my presentation on the strategic analysis of Dick's Sporting Good. My name is Mikel Villarreal, and yeah, let's jump right into it. Oops. So here we have the introduction. This is some history and background of Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods was founded by Dick Stack in 1948 when he was only 18 years old. He originally worked at an Army surplus store, and the owner asked for some recommendations from the store. And when Dick told him the recommendations, the owner kind of rejected him. And so Dick ended up quitting at the time, went to his grandma, asked for $300 and to open his own store in New York. Um, After that, he expanded his product line to many of the things that we see today. Here we have a quick timeline of showing up everything that is offered throughout the time. So we have the product line expanding through the 80s and the 90s. In the 2002, you see Dick's becoming a publicly traded company. And then from 2010 to on now, they keep on adding new ventures and new charity slash foundations. This is a continuation of the introduction. Here we have the company overview. It's just basically a retail store that equips all athletes, whether it is you're a single sport athlete like fishing, hunting, kayaking, whether you are a team sport athlete like soccer, basketball, or baseball, or whether you're just trying to buy shoes, workout clothes or workout equipment. This is the mission and the vision. This is directly from their website. It's to create an inclusive environment where passionate and skilled and diverse teammates thrive. Okay. Yep. So this is the management and leadership. Here we have the CEO, Lauren R. Halbert. She took over in 2021 as the first female CEO of the company and also outside of the company family, out of the Stack family. She first came on in 2011 as a CMO, and during her time as a CMO, she improved the ROI in marketing. She developed the Cali brand. She became the president in 2017, and prior to working at Dick's, she spent around 14 years at PepsiCo. Here we have other um, leadership. We have the executive chairman, Edward Stack. He comes from the Stack family, directly from Dick. We have Executive Vice Principal and CFO Navdeep Gupta, Executive Vice Principal and Vertical Brands Chad Kessler, Executive Vice Principal and slash CPPO Julie Law Jarrett, Executive Vice Principal and CTO Vlad Rack, Executive Vice President and Stores Ray Silva. Here we have the target market and generic strategies. So for the target market, we have this gender distribution of men and women pretty equal, 50%, 50%. That just shows that they're really trying to get to everyone. Same thing with the ages. They do have a wide range from teenagers to young to adults, middle-aged people, all the way to elders. But the key is in that 25 to 34 age range. They really want to hit, athletes that are, trying to get better. And in that around that age, people are investing in themselves, whether it be in equipment, clothes, shoes, things of that nature. So in then moving on to generic strategy, we have the cost leadership, differentiation, and the focus. For cost leadership, Dix is trying to strive for that, middle class clientele, get that bang for your buck. They want to keep on lowering prices, adding sales for so people can spend more money and just, put themselves on top when it comes to that part of the sector of the market. And then for differentiation, they keep on offering new products that might be different from the competitors in a bigger line. So they offer anything from golf clubs to excuse me, basketball hoops to clothes to bottles to shoes. And for that focus, they're really heavily invested in that low cost strategy. They just want to get that most bang for your buck. Okay, moving on to the five forces analysis. First, we have the supplier power. Suppliers gain power when the retailer like Dick's is too dependent on one sold supplier. and also when they don't have too many raw resources or materials used. So in order to combat this, they just need to have multiple suppliers, and they need to use different raw materials. So when prices of other raw materials go up, they can use the other ones to substitute, and they could continue with the production. Next, with buyer power, buyers usually have power when it's a smaller base. So let's say you have your base is just teenage boys that play football. Well, when those boys are not interested in dicks anymore, the company will take a bigger toll. So in order to combat this, they just need to have a larger base, and they're doing that very well. They're offering many different people that drive in different sales. So when something kind of slows down, the other things kind of pick it up. And in continuation, we have competitive rivalry. You just have to use differentiation. And like I said, Dix does this well by offering so many different things. The only way that they would be kind of um, taken advantage of in this part is if they stay stagnant and they don't continue to keep on innovating on new different product lines. Threat of substitution, same thing. It kind of ties in with the competitive rivalry, just offering more products constantly, innovating, things of that nature, and threat of new entry. Dix does as well. Again, they keep on offering more sales. They use that low cost strategy. You know, New entry only comes in really when other competitive brands, keep on lowering their prices as well, and it drives the clientele to those other markets. So for financial overview, we have the gross revenue. These numbers are going to be in per thousands. So for gross revenue, we have 12,368,198 thousand dollars. This is as the money that Dix brings in with sales. This is until the total net profit. The net profit is going to be that 4,284,500 uh 58 uh sorry 4,284,558,000 dollars. um that being said, you get the net profit by getting revenue minus your expenses. We have the gross profit margin. The gross profit margin is received or is calculated by getting gross revenue minus cost of goods sold divided by the gross revenue times 100. Cost of goods sold is anything it costs to get the item sold. So whether it's manufacturing, shipping, time it's spent on the shelf, things of that nature. And for a publicly traded company, Dick's Sporting Goods does really well, staying above that 25%. They're at 35, which is great. Moving on to return on investment. Return on investment is the profit divided by the cost times 100. So this is just how much money you put in, and how much and it calculates how much you get out and what the percentage of that is. So 25% again is really good for a publicly traded company. Anything above 20 is great. For the current ratio, that money you're gonna get is assets divided by liabilities. That number is 1.88. If you're anywhere near 2, it's great. So again, Dix is, doing really, really good in this ratio, excuse me. This number is going to tell the creditors how good at you are at paying short-term debt. So Dix is doing fine here. And the debt to equity ratio is going to be your debt divided by shareholders' equity. And you want this number to be anywhere between 1 to 1.5. So Dix is slacking a little bit in this area. And this again is just tells creditors how good you are, or how able you would be to pay short-term debt. This is the financial overview continued. This is going to be a comparison of Dick's Sporting Good with, excuse me, sorry, with Big Five. And when it comes to gross profit, if we look at from 2022 going forward for both the profit and revenue, we see Dick's Sporting Good is continually going up. They did take a deficit, but their number is continuing to grow. And if we take a look at Big Five, that number is actually going down. When for grow gross profit, excuse me, Dick's goes from 4.38 to 4.53, so it's that growth, and Big Five goes from 3.4 to 2.98. And for revenue, Dick's goes from 11 0.9 to 12.98 billion. Again, they're going up a whole other billion. I mean, Dix is continuing to innovate, and their numbers are showing. They're taking more and more shares of the market, and we see Big Five actually dwindle down. That number goes from 1 billion to 0.89 billion. So here are some ethical issues and challenges that Dix have faced. The main one is the Parkland shooting that happened in Florida. 17 were killed, unfortunately, and Ed Stack, the CEO at the time, he is now the executive chairman. He felt like he was a little responsible and felt guilty because the shooter illegally bought a weapon from a Dix outlet and killed 17 people. So when that happened, Ed said he had enough of it. So he slowly talked with other members in the Dick's executive chair, and they discussed that if they do end up taking down firearms, they would lose a sale of 250 million in assault rifles alone, and they would lose about 8.4 billion in revenue in total revenue. So whether that comes from a boycott, but he took the chance. He took off the guns from the shelf, and he did face those repercussions from the right side. He did lose that money, and there was a lot of backlash, but eventually it did pay off because other companies like Walmart and Kroger followed suit, and they did also take off their weapons. So it paid off by showing that they took step in that, and kind of got ahead of the curve. Um, and for their corporate social responsibility initiatives, they have four of them: leveling the playing field, clearing hurdles, raising the bar, and protecting their home courts. And out of those four, only one has been achieved, but the other ones are they're striving hard to finish. So leveling the playing field is basically Dick's hiring at a 50% rate, men and women, um, when it comes to new hires. So they want to just keep, men and women equal at a 1-to-1 ratio. And they achieved it. They right now their employees is at a 1-to-1 ratio. Next is clearing hurdles, and that initiative is to provide 2 million young people from under-resourced communities with opportunities to play sports by 2024. So they're on the way, they're almost done. Yeah, they're doing great. And then for raising the bar, it is to attain 100% participation in vertically owned brands in the sustainable apparel conditions Hague facility environment module. So that just basically means they want to get better in owning sustainable materials and apparel. And it kind of ties into number four, which is protect their home courts. And they just want to lower their greenhouse emissions by 30% um, as of 2030 from 2016 as their baseline. And they're doing great. They're well on the way. And also for protect their home courts, they want to stop selling single-use plastic bags. So for Dick's managerial recommendations, here are four that they can make. First, their customer experience. Make in-store and online experience better. That basically means that the online and in-store experience is a lot more efficient, personalized, and easier, whether that's at checkout, whether that's in the line, etc., etc. Number two, product assortment is to continually add new products that are trendy. That might sound a little cliche, but the Stanley Cups that were in not too long ago, Dick's got ahead of that and on top of that, and they made a lot of sales because they just got on top of something that was in the market. If they continue to do that, they'll keep on becoming that brand that everyone wants to go to. Number three, employee training. It's to create more of a service brand than a product brand. So keep people coming back to Dick's, even if the competitors are selling the same thing at lower prices. Dick's is just known for that, great customer service. And number four, marketing and promotion. Just tailor make the stores for areas and what they need and what they're going to use. And that being said, getting certain celebrities that just really fit the brand. Thank you so much. That was my presentation, and here are my references. Thank you.